Welcome everybody to this episode of the Everflow podcast. We get to talk to Leah Lahki today, and you're watching part one of a two-part series. So this first part is going to be about Leah's life, where she came from, how she grew up, how she got into music. The second part of the episode is going to be regarding the Surrender EP, the process behind creating it, how Leah, Tones, and I came together as a creative team. So if you want to watch that one, that's the next video. You'll find the link in the description. And for now, enjoy getting to know Leah Lahki. Let's kick it off, baby.
All right.
Welcome, y'all, to this episode of the Everflow podcast. This is a very special one because we get to hang out with our dear friend, collaborator, incredible artist, Leah Lahki.
Hey.
Oh, man. And this is awesome, too, because we are at the end of the Surrender EP coming out. The whole process, it's been more than a year creatively. So we figured it'd be really cool to come together tonight to be able to speak about the origin of the project, which originated literally at this table. This is where we sat to talk about the terms and the vision and all that fun stuff.
That's right.
And we're going to talk a bit about how the project came to life, a little bit of behind the scenes, lessons we learned, challenges we faced, and how beautiful it turned out and why it turned out so beautifully. But before we get into that, we're going to give Leah an opportunity to introduce herself, to tell us about where she's from, her origin story, and how we all came to be together here in LA. So welcome to the podcast, Leah.
It's good to be here, guys.
Officially, this has been a long time coming.
What are we gonna do when there's no more island? When you all have graduated to
I know.
bigger homes and
bigger island,
studios, bigger islands.
No, I live on an island.
That's
This will
right.
just be a memory.
I know. It is crazy to think about. We've been here almost 3 years now, and our lease is still rolling. Our landlords are happy. We're happy with them too. And
What a blessing, LA, man.
who knows at what chapter we might not be here anymore. So it is special. It is special.
Amazing.
So how you feeling? First and foremost, how you feeling about in this moment of your life that this has come together and that you've had a chance to share the music with the people who've been supporting you all throughout these last few months, but also hear how they've been engaging with the music, how they feel about the music, how it's impacting them.
It's honestly been such a blessing, and I know it's like pretty, not cliche, but kind of cliche, to say that. But it's truly been a blessing, and I mean that in every sense of the way, because while other things have been kind of weighing me down recently in the last few weeks even, this has given me so much just like life and like it's been a beautiful reminder of like, this is why I did this. This is why I said yes, because I knew that there was beauty on this side of the obedience to do this project and to write music like this and to be as intentional as we were with this project. So it has been a blessing now that it is out and people are loving it. They're texting me about it. They're texting me about their car rides and going and having to pull over and having to wait a minute before they go into work. And I'm just like, wow, I can. And then the Time Out show that I recently did, I got some amazing, beautiful stories of encounters, and just moments that people had, even on a night where it was a little more stripped down and a little more bare, but still could be used, like it was still useful. It was still very purposeful and still anointed, if you will. So this project has just been giving. It's been giving back,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's how I feel. I feel blessed.
Amazing. Tones, how do you feel? We're doing a little feeling recap before we dive into this.
Feel good. I feel so grateful of this entire project. I feel like increasing peace about this project and about the timing of it and about the process of it and about the people that we've met in the process, how you've brought us through to the recording club.
Yes.
Now, I've been there like 5-6 times and met some incredible people there, from Judah to Bam to just Greg, of course, as well.
Greg, yeah.
And just being a part of that community. And then seeing how this project had wind in its sails like already prior to release. This is the first project I've been a part of where that was a thing. Before the project's out, people were like, I was on a completely separate gig, and a saxophonist was like, oh yeah, I don't know how it even came about, but it's something along the lines of like, yeah, there's this artist, she came up with the song Brand New, and I was like,
That's my song.
are you talking about Leah Lahki? He's like, yeah, man, she's great. I was like, yeah, I co-produced that project. He's like, what?
That's awesome.
You produced it? I was like, yeah. He's like, dude, if you ever need a saxophonist, like, let me know.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I got you. I was like, man, that is cool.
So cool.
It's so awesome. So seeing how the project is like bringing light to people has been amazing. And for me, what has been really special about this is, though we put our heart into every project that we do, there's something special about when it's about God and for God, and how we've prayed before every session. That's something I kind of did prior to our process, but now I do it every time because of just witnessing what that turns into. A much larger, enriching, fulfilling experience. So grateful for the project, grateful for the EP release party, grateful we changed the date, which I would love to
dig into.
like, yeah, to see like for you, like how do you feel in the way of like that original date, the surrender that was required, and then what transpired with that new date because of that surrender for you?
Can you give a little backstory too about the date, original date?
Yeah. So originally I was so we finished the project and I was just excited. I was excited because it was done. And I think I had just built my own timeline. Really, I was just like out of excitement to get this baby out. Like, I was like, come on, it's time. And it's actually really funny because it was around the 9-month mark.
Funny, yeah.
My baby, it was time to come out.
Term.
It was time, okay? I carried you, it's time to go. But yeah, I decided that like, okay, February 22nd, I think was what I came up with. And, you know, originally it was going to maybe be Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was like, oh, you know, love. And we talk about Jesus's unconditional love on there, and then letting him love you and all of those things. So I was like, okay, that could work. So strategically, it made sense.
Yeah.
But then time-wise, it was just so stressful. And time was just zooming. And then I ended up moving, and that added additional just stretch for me. So, and I was out of town. We were all traveling at some point for the holidays. So it was really stressful. And I think it got to 2 weeks before the release party, and I had secured most of actually what ended up being at the actual release party. But something in my spirit was just like, we're not on God's time. We're not on the right time. We're on our own time. And that's why we don't feel like there is a huge lack of confidence and a huge just like disconnect. And it was just more frustrating and more stressful than I knew it would be if God was really in it. And it was aligned with his timeline. So I was like, all right. So I prayed a prayer. And I was like, all right, Lord. And I'm kind of doing this more often now because I heard people saying like they prayed for a specific sign and God answered. So I was like, well, let me try. Let me see. I've never really tried it that way before. So I was like, all right, Lord, if someone recognizes that I need prayer and offers to pray for me, then I will change the date. And I said it, I was like, well, can't take it back. It's out there. So, so I was like, all right, that will give me peace to know that you hear me. And I'm not going to ask anybody. I'm not, I will tell people how I genuinely am feeling. And then when I tell you, so many people were checking in on that Sunday. And I thought for sure the Lord was just going to give me a couple weeks to at least, adjust and cancel the event and reestablish things. No, a whole week went by. That Sunday came about, And I thought for sure, that this was 2 weeks before the release party.
Okay.
It was going to be 2 Sundays from then. And I was like, okay, there's time. Sunday, surely someone's going to want to pray for me, right? Like, surely someone. And nope. Mm-mm. And I feel like I gave people enough to know.
SOS.
Yeah.
Like very
people
light.
how are you? And I'm like,
It's a season of life that would like some prayer.
we're here.
The load is heavy. The load is heavy.
And people,
Like, wow.
and people are like, well, okay. Yeah, I'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you.
Man.
So I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I went about my week, and honestly, I think I kind of forgot. I was just going to okay. I think once I got maybe even a couple of days later into the week, I was like, I kind of forgot that I had prayed for that sign. And I was like, I think I had made up the decision without leaving space for the week and a half that was left to count it as, well, I guess it's happening. He didn't send it on Sunday. Of all the days, that would be a great day, But that was still, it's so funny because I look back at that and that's not surrender at all.
Right.
That's still me very much controlling the narrative and okay, you're going to give me a sign, right? And it would be on Sunday. Yeah, that makes sense, And it wasn't. So skipping forward, I think by the time I got to the next Sunday, which was literally a week before.
5 days before, yeah.
Would have been a week before.
All right.
Exactly a week before the February 22nd date. And I had forgotten the prayer that I had prayed. And I think I was just buckling up and getting ready to do this release party because I think I had counted it out. And David came to church. Surprisingly, it wasn't that was one of your first.
Yes, when I was starting to come on my own.
You were starting to come on, and you were just like, "Hey, I'm here," and I was like, "Oh snap!" So then we walked to my car, and you offered. I think we were talking, and I don't know what. I would be interested to know what that moment was for you. But on my side of things, I think maybe I released some of what was happening emotionally, and I can't really remember, but I'm imagining I did. And then you discerned the need for prayer, or at least you offered. You were like, "Do you mind if we pray in your car?" And I was like, "No, I would love that." And I didn't think in that moment, I didn't put it together.
Right.
It wasn't in that moment. It was in the prayer. When we were, because I was like, "Hey, let's."
That's crazy.
Actually, I live really close to the church, so I was like, "Hey, you want to have an impromptu lunch? Let's go. We can do the prayer. We can hang out. Let's go to my place." So we did that. First thing we did was prayed. We sat on my couch, and when you were praying, I just broke down, and the Lord was like, "This is the moment.
Wow.
This is the confirmation."
Wow.
And I realized, I was like, "Oh, He offered to pray for me. Oh,
Crazy.
Okay." And then it was like, "Oh, it's a week until the release party, and we're canceling."
Yeah, right. People have paid for their tickets.
I know people had sent tickets and sent support donations, and I had talked to securing vendors and having some brands there, and
Not to mention the venue.
the venue. I mean, they're so great though. So
cool.
they were very, very. They were honestly the least of my worries because they're so amazing. The shout out to the
great.
recording club. Recording club is phenomenal. If you're an artist, go cut some records there. Have a membership. It's really great. Lots of rewards. But that was like, oh, okay.
That was it.
That was the moment. That was the confirmation. That was the decision. And there was maybe 5%. 1 to 5% in me that was like, oh, shoot. But when I tell you the amount of peace that I got immediately in the prayer, this all happening in the midst of the prayer, I was just like, oh, thank God. I was like, I can breathe.
Yeah.
And I hated that I felt that way about the release party, about this project. So much beauty in this, and so much hard work, and so many tears, and so much effort, like so much goodness in this project. I was like, no way do I really think that God would have me feel this way about the party to celebrate it.
Right.
To celebrate the birth of it. So I was like, this can't be it. God, like, I need your confirmation. And so he sent it through you.
That's so crazy.
Of all people, right? Like, it's not just somebody.
Right,
it was you too. So I was like, wow.
God is good.
Yeah.
I was at church, and it's pretty much like we were all on the same page because we had the group text and we like knew that the release party is about to happen, right? But I was just kind of like aware of how you were feeling. I don't know, just like maybe sensing it, or just like. And
That's
when
the
I got
discernment.
when I got to see you, yeah, right. When I got to see you in person, I was like, man, let me pray for Leah before I go, because I feel like that would be really, really helpful in this moment, because you're juggling so much to make this release party happen. Like it felt like you had the burden of the whole thing on your shoulders. Yeah, and that's why I remember I'm like, we're standing outside your car, and you're about to get in the car. I'm like, man, I need to pray for her. I want to pray for her. And I'm like, but we're not going to pray here on the sidewalk, are we? I was like, all right, let's pray in the car. And yeah, no.
Wow.
That was special. So that's so beautiful. And when we got to your home and we prayed, and it was a very special moment. Like, God is so good for community, for discernment, for the opportunity to just be able to listen and to trust and to act. So, and that's what's powerful too about like being obedient to the callings that we receive, to the urges, to the signs. It's like there's been times in my life where I haven't listened to those things, and like this is one of those moments where I was like, thank God, like we have the friendship and relationship that we do where I'm comfortable with you. I'm like, oh, we pray all the time. I'm like, well, this is like a normal ask, you know?
Right, yeah.
Kind of. Because you're kind of like in a rush. You needed to go. So I was like, oh man, I don't want to hold her back, but I kind of got to pray.
Kind of need to get this out.
Yeah. So, but man, what a crazy
Wow.
story. And the release party ended up being on God's time.
Man.
And like, that was the thing. We went home and you were like, all right, guys, I'm rescheduling. Let's pray about the new date, the release date, and all that fun stuff. So, yeah.
And I remember when you called me to let me know officially, I immediately was like, yep, I have peace about this.
Yes. I remembered. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It's like
I similarly to when it looked like timeout was shutting down here, and when we needed to make a change and something that could feel like defeat, I just didn't feel the defeat. I felt excitement of like, I feel God shifting the wind in the sails, and same for you. In that moment, I was like, you're like, I'm so sorry to say that this is not happening in a week. So sorry, Tones. I was like, I'm excited. This is awesome. I feel so much peace about this. Not needing to rush it. It's not a delay. It's not a procrastination thing. It is literally just the appointment is not for now. It's for a later point in time. So it's cool how God works.
it's I love hearing all the different ways that, you know, he spoke to us in that experience. You know, he was giving you the discernment and you listened. So thank you for that, right? Because had I not got that sign, I would have kept it pushing.
That's been a big part of this whole process, has been the times that we've all received different like messages from God, and like the obedience to be able to listen to it. That's happened multiple times throughout the process. But before we go there, let's talk about your origin story. Let's talk about
The
Leah
chapters.
from West Virginia, Kentucky.
Oh my goodness. She's a country girl.
And how you grew up, and even how your origin like contributed to who you are as an artist now, and your trajectory, and also the music that you kind of made. Let's just start with back home.
Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was born in West Virginia.
All right.
Didn't stay there long. Have a lot of family in the hills of West Virginia. Kermit. Kermit.
That's the name of the town? Kermit, West Virginia.
I was born in Huntington,
Huntington.
West Virginia, but all my family is up in the mountains of
Wow,
of West.
cool.
Yeah. Where there are creeks and hollers. Yeah.
Well, a holler is a.
Holler.
It's like a canyon.
It's like pretty much like
a depression
mountains.
in the earth.
Yeah, just like
Interesting.
coves of mountain, and then you just have like
and hollers.
windy roads, and usually like a big family. Ours is lined up down Kermit. Yeah,
Wow.
and
Wow.
that's our holler. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I remember going there a lot as a kid and very outdoorsy. It's giving pools and trampolines, and my great grandma birthed naturally. What is it? 11 kids? Is that right, Bub?
Yeah.
11 kids? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
Champ.
yeah, back in the day, that's how they did
amazing.
it. We can't afford that many kids these days.
Back in the day, you couldn't afford not to have that many kids. You're like, get to work, kiddos.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Exactly. You watch your brother. You watch
That's
your
right.
sister.
You do laundry.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But they had this big house, several rooms. I always loved visiting there. You know, it was just lots of family and cousins and fun, and four-wheelers and stuff like that, dirt bikes and what do they call them? ATVs?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's West Virginia. And then we would go back and forth and visit for the holidays from Kentucky. So we lived in Kentucky for the most part. Mm-hmm. I also spent like half of my adolescence in Ohio too. I usually keep it to just Kentucky and West Virginia because it's kind of a lot. But yeah, that's my little triangle of upbringing is like Ohio, which gave me city like exposure. And actually really encouraged me artistically, because
Wow.
I was able to see that there is more to life than just wanting to maybe do this singing thing and performing thing. The school that I went to in Ohio, in Lebanon, Ohio specifically, was they had like a actual drama club. And I remember when I got there, I was like, there's a club for drama?
For people like me?
Sign me up. I didn't think twice about it. I had never been in anybody's play. I
Wow.
had never done anything like that, but I ran to the stage.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I did dance, like on the dance team for church and stuff like that. So, and then I would sing in like 6th grade, 5th grade for the little showcases or
Talent shows?
talent shows. Thank you. I would sing for those, but yeah, for a whole production, I was just like, I'm doing it. I didn't think twice about it, and I always think back to that like boldness of like, I was just a creative kid. Like I wanted to be on stage is what it was. I loved the spotlight. Always loved the spotlight. Like I wanted to be like Raven Simone, and the Cheetah Girls moment. Yes, that was definitely me. And then Hannah Montana. I remember watching those girls and just being like, I want to do what they're doing. I want to entertain people. I want to sing to people. I want to, I want to bring that kind of smile to an audience,
And so you ended up doing some theatrical productions at the club?
At the drama club, part of the high
roles?
school or the middle school. Yep. We did The Wiz. I was Ada Pearl. The Wiz. It's the black
Adaptation of The Wizard of Oz.
Of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So I was Ada Pearl. She's like an added sister,
Bonus character.
Sister witch. She's the sassy one.
Oh, cool.
And my sister was actually in that too. She was one of the little munchkins. And I was so young, I couldn't appreciate how freaking cute she is.
Right.
Like, she was so cute. But what else? We did Godspell. Godspell, which is actually a bunch of Bible stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And kind of like we dressed very 70s. I don't know if this is like a normal thing to do for this, but we dressed 70s. So I had like a big afro and I had like a polka dotted, like, very disco dress. I loved that outfit. And then I had go-go boots, leather go-go boots. Oh, that was my favorite outfit, I think. But I didn't think about it then, of course, but it's interesting that that's one of the productions I was a part of. You know, because even now I remember moments where we blocked and performed some of the stories from the Bible.
Wow.
You know, the seer that sows the seeds and different ones. So, and then what else? I guess I could try to remember all of the productions I did, but we moved back to Kentucky by the time I was going into high school, which was a huge bummer for me.
Oh man,
if I'm honest, because I was so excited about all the opportunities that I could see that I had access to, at least try for, in Ohio. Now, Kentucky, Maysville, Kentucky is a lot smaller, and the whole system is just different. It's built differently, and their education is different and everything. So when we moved there was no drama club. You had to be in the choir in order to do the yearly musical.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. So one
One
musical a year,
Right.
and you had to be in the choir. I will say that was probably a blessing in disguise, though, because it allowed me to work on my craft as a singer daily. And then we were always, so I'm a soprano, but I can also be an alto. Had I not had that choir experience, I wouldn't have built just an understanding at all of what being in a group like that with different parts is like at all,
Yep.
The importance of blending and having a conductor and all of those things. So that taught me a lot, and I ended up really loving it. Like, that was my life. And then
Did you do that throughout high school?
I did that all throughout high
throughout.
school. Yes,
Yeah.
that was my big thing for sure.
Cool.
I made so much space for that. Now, I was also a cheerleader.
Oh,
You know
snap,
that?
really?
Yeah, I was a cheerleader.
yeah.
My freshman year? Or my sophomore year, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was my sophomore year. I decided to try all the sports that I wanted to try. I was
All of them.
I was a cheerleader. I made the competition squad
Wow.
because I was willing to throw a back handspring,
Oh.
and I could do it.
And
Like,
most of the other girls were scared. They're like,
Well, some of them, yeah. So I was
Yeah.
just bold enough to just keep trying. Just keep trying until it looks good.
wow.
But my mom was a cheerleader in college when she went her first years. So
Yeah.
she was definitely proud of that.
Oh.
But I'm not a super competitive person, so I didn't love it. I didn't love it enough to keep doing it. But it was a fun year,
Yeah.
And it was cool to know what I was capable of. So, physically.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I can't do whatever the thing is that you were throwing.
Yeah, throwing bodies. Throwing bodies.
crazy.
Yeah. And then I also did track.
Oh,
But
snap.
that same year.
Wow.
I don't know why I did that. My hair literally was falling out that year. Yeah, I remember so many times after one of the tryout or not rehearsals,
Track meets?
one of the practices, I would be just like beat, so exhausted, and mom would be like, "Well, what are you gonna do for dinner?" And I'm like, "Nothing. I'm gonna sleep." So yeah, not the best idea to do all of the sports in one year, but I did try it, and then I landed on, you know what, we're very artistic, and that's good enough. So we're gonna stick with that.
And you ran with it.
And I ran with that.
That's the only running you were
That's
doing.
after that, it was just more workouts. So
Okay.
I've always been, fairly active. So yeah. And then when I went to college, I went to University of Louisville. I actually did want to try to, a part of me wanted to come to UCLA. Wanted to try to come across the country to UCLA. I don't know why UCLA.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just I think maybe I looked up some California colleges and that one caught my attention. And I didn't even finish applying. I think I got really intimidated by the scoring. You have to test, and
Right.
I was not the greatest at that. So it was pretty discouraging, and I just didn't even try. That's my sad story for that. But
It wasn't time yet.
it wasn't time yet, precisely because I don't know what my life
Right.
would be
we wouldn't be
if
here.
I had that kind of like LA
man.
exposure.
Ooh, yeah.
And I would have been out here by myself.
Wow.
And I would have done it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was actually like an opportunity that would have presented itself, I would have done it 1000%. Not looked back.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's great that I just didn't. I think everything worked out the way it should. So I ended up at University of Louisville with a full ride. And so that was a blessing. And that full ride was what kept me in school. Because if I was paying for it, your girl would have been in. Halfway through, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Ah.
I was
Were
like,
you doing music in
so
college?
I started realizing how I can actually do music as an artist. I didn't know that. I was used to being an onstage performer, covering music and doing, competitions and little shows around campus. Like, I had developed kind of a presence on campus as a singer, but for covering music and doing events and stuff like that.
Wow.
So they would call me when they wanted that. But I started to be that on campus, I started to also find myself in spaces musically where I was seeing musicians around town. And there aren't a whole bunch in Louisville, Kentucky, but there are a handful. I don't know about now, right? Because I'm not living there. I'm sure there are.
Yeah, well,
but
college towns, there tends to be at least some creative community.
Yeah. So, I ended up getting connected with Malachi Mabson. Oh, sorry if that's not how you say your last name. I love you. But he is such an incredible instrumentalist, specifically on keys. And we wrote probably wrote some songs. He was a part of my first songwriting sessions. Yeah.
You just went in there, you're like, guess we're going to write?
And I'm like, oh, okay, there's like this recording mic thing, and this is a whole new world. I'm used to a stage and lights and lots of people. And it was really weird to go from being super used to that to this little box. Like, oh, I have to stay right here. Okay.
Yeah. Here are your headphones.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is so strange. And hearing yourself sing and like not knowing at all how you want to hear yourself and like not having the language. Oh, that was such a thing. But I started that in, I think, 2017, maybe 2016, that I started to like know that I could be a recording artist. And yeah, I think it was like a far-fetched idea, like to have my music on, like to have a song and for me to put it out on a CD, because those existed at the time. Okay. CDs
and have it downloaded on iTunes?
To be able to download it on iTunes and put it on your iPod. I think
for
those
$1.29.
Yeah, for $1.29. I think the iPods had their time though, right? By then, by 2015.
Like the iTouches were starting to happen, and the iPhones were in their iterations.
In like 2015?
2017, yeah.
Yeah, iPhones were a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first iPhone came out probably like 2010, 2011. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, we were into it.
Yeah.
iPods were bye-bye.
So we were iTunes.
Yeah.
We were iTunes for sure. So I started to be curious, and I was open while I was going to school full time and working. I was also just filling my free time with music in this new way.
Wow.
And then still performing when I could, And so, yeah, didn't realize it, but now that I'm like saying it out loud, I was living, the life of an artist. I started to live the life of an artist in college. And then what happened, okay, this was a pivotal moment for me. I actually met Jack Harlow.
Oh, what?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, yeah. So he actually reached out to me on Instagram and kind of tried to pick me up with the whole line of, oh, can you teach me how to sing? And me being me, I was like, are you serious? Like, oh, yeah. Like, are you actually looking for training? So we ended up hanging out at the like science expo or whatever. And that was actually really cool. I would never just go like somewhere like that by myself. But he was really cool, super sweet. And from there, I started to get to know him a little more. And he was in and out of town from Atlanta. He had skipped college because he was just like he's a couple years younger, I think. So he skipped college and went straight to, trying to do this music thing. And he was in my, I think this was 2017. I want to say confidently 2017 was when I met him. And then I just started to like see like, okay, he's an artist and this is how his life is moving and how he's kind of functioning in this space, right? And I met my first manager through him, Nemo. Shout out to Nemo. Nemo's very creatively like
awake,
blessed. Yeah, like he's got great creative ideas. And so I met Nemo through him, and later, not much later, but soon after that, he would become my first manager. And then I would release my first couple of songs to you and For the Summer. Wow. And they're still out there.
Wow.
They're still out there. They're rough, but they're out there. Those are the beginning stages for sure. But it was so cool. I was like, oh, this is all it is? Like, and then we did music videos and that was fun. And I'm like, okay. And so I've always been very included in the process of like, the vision and like
the creative
writing
decision-making
it,
process,
recording it, even production wise, I feel like I was like, oh, I like those, or oh, what, I hear this, can we try like something that sounds like this or whatever. I've always been very involved and excited about the whole package and the whole product. So I did that, and when I was, I guess I'm ready to, it didn't work out with Nemo, of course. But I was in a relationship, which was very toxic. And that kind of held me back a little bit because I was started to believe that there was like zero chance that it would, there were moments when we literally had conversation where he was like, it's such a like fat chance that you would actually become.
Yeah. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning.
Yeah, literally that. It was literally that. So I was like, okay, maybe you're right. Like, you're probably right. And I'm in this place like Kentucky where, blue collar and people aren't doing this stuff. Like, you're not walking down the street seeing people with tripods and doing their music videos. Like, that's not what you see in Kentucky. It's green grass and very practical living, very more traditional and slower and family and things like that. So when you're seeing that all the time and you're not seeing the creative stuff, you start to believe, well, that's probably true. Like, it's a lot less likely probably that I would accomplish what I'm seeking for right now, which at the time was very much so for me to be a superstar, by the way. That's what I always,
the goal.
That's what I've always said. Yes, literally, like, I want to be a star. So that was that season. While I was in Croatia, about to graduate from college, that was my international learning experience. While I was there, I've met Jack, right? And he's making his music, and it's going really well. I think when I met him, he had like 10,000 followers over that year or so, because it would have been 2019 when I graduated. So that's the year it was. So 2 years. Over that 2 years, he had released his What's Poppin'. And that's when Lil Wayne and all of them, Tory Lanez, and they all jumped on What's Poppin'. Yeah, so anyway, while they were doing that and releasing that, I was in Croatia, like this is happening back home.
Yeah.
For this guy, right? Like, if he can do it, why am I taking myself out of the race? Like, why? Not to say anything about him,
right?
But like, literally, if he could do it, why can't I? Why can't I at least try?
Yep.
So that shout out to Jack for being bold and doing what he loved to do and going for it. Like, go you know?
Yep.
And so, because it inspired me. It really was. Like, I literally have to thank Jack for being that inspiration and reminder. Like, okay, all he's doing is trying.
Right.
He's putting it out there at least. So I can at least do that. So once I realized I should at least be trying, I was like, okay, I'm about to graduate. So when we get back home, we're going to graduate, get our degree, and we're going to figure out how to get back into some kind of creative flow. Because it had been about 2 years, almost 2 years, that I had been, conditioned to believe that it wasn't going to be my story, probably. So yeah, I had to unwork some of those lies. And then that, of course, split us up further and further and further as he realized that wasn't going to be controlled anymore. And then by 2021, I released Higher, like the top of 2021. And I was about to be done with my lease in Kentucky. I had graduated college. Wow. My ex was my ex. I was free. Like, there was nothing keeping me in Kentucky anymore. Because when I graduated college, I was still with my ex and I was staying for him because I always said, once I graduate college, I'm leaving to Atlanta at least. So Atlanta was never an open door. And kind of grateful for that because it's hot Atlanta. Not for me. But by 2021, I had met this guy and he ended up encouraging me in just all kinds of different ways. And he was like, okay, so we've got 3 options. New York, which is where he was living. So I knew there was like a safe bet, at least to some degree, in New York. But this was post-COVID, 2021, the top of 2021.
Yeah.
So it was giving body bags on the street.
Oh my gosh, for real.
I was like, I don't think I want that for me.
Yeah, New York was a whole different experience.
It sounded like Zombieland, honestly. It sounded really scary.
Yeah, it's very intense, yeah.
Yeah, and then also I was thinking of winters, and I'm like, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want to move into that kind of vibe. So maybe not. So that moved New York a little further down my list. And then LA was, I think, on the last of the list, though. I don't
One
think
of the last?
Yeah, honestly, I think it was just such a it seemed like a far stretch.
Right.
It seemed like a stretch, and it's literally across the country from my family, from, and Atlanta really was where I would have chosen if I had it my way back then, because it was closer, it was more comfortable, it was safe. And so, when my manager at the time was like, well, I know some people in Black Hollywood, we could work some of those opportunities maybe. LA's a good option. So I was like, well, let me visit at least first. So I visited for the first time in April of 2021, and I loved it. I loved the weather. I felt like at peace with visiting. And I was like, I feel like I belong here, So I went back home and I was like, okay, June was going to be the last, like June 1st was the last of my, maybe May something was the last of my lease. And so I was like, that's it. I'm not signing a new lease and I'm not staying in Kentucky. So we're going to LA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so June 2021, we're about to be celebrating that 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. So I packed up and...
Did your family give you their blessing? Were they all like, we love you, girl. Go follow your dreams.
You know, that is an interesting, yes and no. I think yes and no.
We got Ray Sean in the house.
Yeah, Bub's in the house.
Leah's sibling. Yeah, he said snack time.
That's funny.
All right.
Featuring Bub.
For real. Got the family in the house. Speaking of family, how was your family's reaction support to you being like, I'm going to the West Coast?
Going to the West Coast. My dad was, he's a little scary sometimes. Like he gets a little scared.
Okay.
You know, well, he's working on
Cautious.
it though. Yeah. So like any father, he was worried about me going across the country by myself to a place where I know no one. But I really wasn't worried about it. I don't know. I had no fear. I really didn't. Like I didn't think of the consequence of what that would be. So I was just like, well, I understand, but I'm going. Like, okay, bye. Love you. My mom, on the other hand, I don't know. I think it took her a couple years, honestly, to accept that this is what I'm doing and this is where I want to be. And I can love you from here. You know, I don't have to be surrounded by my family to know that I love them and that they love me, you know? So I'm very independent in that way, that I don't have to be next door to my people. So I think I haven't really talked to her about, my dad's very vocal. He's a talker like me. The apple didn't fall far from that tree. So I'd have to ask my mom really what she was thinking at that time. But I know she kind of had her resistance. It was kind of like, well, good luck. Since you want to leave us, good luck. You know, that's what it's kind of giving. But, you know, I get it, you know. Yeah. So anyway, being here for 5 years now, she's obviously gotten to recognize that this is the best thing that I could have done, you know. And my mama Ida, she was like, she was a little sad, I think. Definitely sad to see me go, but she was proud of me to take the leap. But yeah.
So you pack all your stuff in your car?
I did.
You drive alone?
I was supposed to have my sister with me. And she backed out like 2 days, like 2 days before.
2 days prior?
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, all right. She had just graduated high school. And so I wasn't thinking about like how intense that was probably for her. And she did end up moving, but it was a couple months later. And then it still didn't last long.
Where did she move? She moved somewhere else.
She moved to LA for a couple months. She did live with me later in the year.
So she was going to come with you because she was moving too, like in that moment.
Yes, but she had changed her mind. Yeah.
Wow, 2 days before. That's okay though. She's young.
She was young. She was 18. Yeah.
Wow,
she needed to be at home a little longer.
Yes. And she's also very much so like the baby. So literally, but also like just the way that she is, you know. So yeah, that would have been really hard for her. And it was still really hard for her a couple months later. She was like crying. I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, I'm not making you do this. You know that, right? Like, but
the way I cried when I moved from Seattle.
I shed a tear. I did.
Yeah.
I did. There was a rainbow in my rearview mirror when I was coming out of New Orleans, because I made a road trip out of it. I was like, might as well. I'm going to enjoy this. If I'm going to do it, I'm probably only doing this once, so let me enjoy this. And so I made a 4-day, 4 stops. And I stopped in New Orleans.
You drove a lot. You drove 4 days?
Yeah.
That's a lot of driving.
Yeah. 38 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I split it up, and I was by myself too, so I was like, I need to enjoy this in some kind of way, you know. So New Orleans was great. It was so fun to just get a quick little moment. I ended up meeting up with somebody that I had gotten connected to through a musical connection that I had made really quick on my way out from Louisville.
Yeah.
A shout out to Gil Holland, great guy. And he connected me with her in New Orleans, and so she showed me around, and we had a little bit of fun, and then I left there. And as I was leaving, I looked back in my rearview mirror, and the sun was setting because I kind of got a late start that day because I couldn't leave New Orleans.
Yeah.
I was like, I need more time here. But yeah, I was like, wow, the beauty. I was moving forward and moving onward, but there was so much beauty behind me still to reflect on, you know? So I was like, wow. And I think soon after that made me very reflective. And I think that was the moment when I started to kind of grieve the life that I was leaving. Yeah, I was like, okay, we're gone. Okay. My sister's not with me. Okay.
Man.
Wow.
I'm going to a place I know no one. Okay. Cool. Let's do this. Yeah. It was really cool. It was quite the ride. Yeah.
Man.
So stopped in San Antonio, stayed with a college friend, and then stopped in New Mexico. I didn't do much there because I just wasn't privy to the whereabouts. So, I was made aware to be careful. I don't know if, what the reason might be but I was like, I'll just play it safe there. And I stayed at the nicest hotel there. And then I stayed in a not so nice place. Whatever. I don't know why I did that. I could have done better. In Phoenix.
It's part of the road trip stories.
It was part
It's
of the road
got to
trip.
be. You got to have a really good one and a really questionable one.
Yeah, New Orleans was a hostel. That's probably the first and last time I'll ever do that, but it was great. Thank God. Oh my gosh, it wasn't bad. It was just very awkward. It's like I got there really late, and I'm like, who are these people I'm sleeping in this room with?
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to meet any of them because it was so late.
Yeah.
So I was literally just like, I'm just gonna try to get rest.
No one kill me
in my
tonight.
little exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, just protect me.
Yep.
Okay. Good night, everybody. And then there was nothing really exciting about Phoenix. I think it was actually would have been Memorial Day. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
When you rolled through there?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting. I don't know.
Right? No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, because timing wise. Yeah. Is it always on the 25th?
I think it's always in May, and it's always whatever day it is today.
The
Or
Monday.
the Monday.
The Monday.
Last Monday of May.
The last Monday of the month.
Something
Okay.
like that.
Well, then I don't know how that timeline works out, but it was some kind of holiday. I thought.
Okay. Maybe a local holiday.
Yeah.
It might have been the 7 months before President's Day.
Celebration, the countdown.
Maybe it was that weekend, so there was fireworks and stuff like that. I don't know, but I made it on June 1st.
June 1st, you arrived to Los Angeles.
I did.
Wow. We got to throw you a party.
I know.
First 5 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
Did you hit the ground running creatively? Were you it's time to make music, it's time to make my dreams come true?
When I was like, I'm moving to LA, that was my declaration to 100% be an artist. I was like, I am going to LA, I'm going to be an artist, and you're not going to tell me otherwise. That was my one declaration, and that was my focus. That was my why. I was like, I need a place that's going to inspire, and at the time, I was still being managed by that old manager.
Nemo.
No, this was a different one.
Okay.
And so, I just hadn't, I was learning so much, but I was still so naive. And something that I'm so grateful for is having a strong sense of discernment or just wisdom and trusting my gut. And this guy kept getting me into rooms that just did not feel genuine and right. You know, I was like, I don't like it here. And I don't really believe these people do either, you know? Like, we're all here, but something doesn't feel right. And so I didn't appreciate that I kept being put in these spaces to feel that way. So I was like, okay, where are we disconnected to where I would keep ending up in those places?
And
so,
you had different experiences back in Louisville. Like you had,
Yeah,
you were creating and having fun, and it was young, and it was like,
Yeah.
but it felt completely different. So you had the contrast of the
yeah, I was
experience.
like, it became just such a like, it was immediately about like, let's go big. It was just about like getting famous and getting rich. And that was his motive. I was trying to figure out how to be an artist, how to be 100% in, how to really feel good about my writing process and start to record myself. That's been an everlasting experience, guys. Shame. Such a shame. But all of those things, I was, you know, that's what I was trying to juggle. And then TikTok was a big thing at the time because it was kind of post-COVID. So I was TikToking quite a bit actually at the time. And so I was doing dances and just having fun on the platform, honestly. And then I came out here with no job because I was like, I sent out mailers to paint houses. So I was like, okay, one person at least has got to call me back and it'll be fine. We'll get it figured out. So I had came with a good enough savings to get me through. And then finally someone did call and I had to work quite a bit and talk her into, you know, why I was worth the hire. But my first job was really still one of my better jobs that I've secured. And I was like, okay, I like this.
yeah.
This is good. We need more of these. I got a couple more gigs. And then I got discouraged because it was a lot of work to keep marketing myself. But also I was very active as an artist. So that's when I was like, I don't want to betray myself as an artist by being such an entrepreneur and so worried about making money. So I was like, I'll do what everyone else does. I'll go be a server. And that's when I started that. And so at the same time, though, I was meeting, started to go to this church called Reconcile. And it's a very intimate church. I met the pastor of that church through the agent friend that I still have to this day. She's now one of my longest lasting relationships from the city. Shout out Letty. She's an amazing realtor. But I met her and she was so bold. She was like, "Are you Christian by chance?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, my husband," or fiance at the time, now husband, but well, my fiance runs a church and they need like a worship leader. And I'm like, okay, what kind of church is it? Like, what y'all got going on? Because she was saying she was in a room, a business, right? And then she split it with him. And so on the other side of this business room was the church. So I'm like, what y'all got going on in here? What do you mean? There's like, I'm used to, you know, traditional looking churches and buildings and stuff. So that was a new thing, but no, Reconcile was totally great. And that was my, I did end up leading worship, but I didn't have my own instrument ability. And then, you know, we had a couple people in and out that would help, but mostly it was me karaokeing.
Acapella? Or like
yes,
tracks
and that.
Tracks and acapella.
And acapella.
Wow, no way. Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that for like a year and a half that I was, a yearish, that I was a part of that church. And then I got into another relationship that was my most recent like serious relationship where I was completely, you know, committed and almost living with this guy. And I stopped going to church because he was so far and I was always going to his place. And yeah, I let myself just kind of get distracted completely. And that was honestly like, yeah, by the end of that was 2022 going into that was 2023 going into 2024 that I was in that relationship. And
that's when we met.
That's when we met.
Let's put a little bookmark in that
Yes,
one.
we met
October
in
2023.
October, yep. And I had just released my newest dance EDM song, like my first EDM song.
Yep.
And I love, love, love that genre, right? And I was discovering that I love that genre. And so I do appreciate the opportunity of getting to play in that genre for the first time with my ex. So that was really cool. And that leads me into, meeting you guys.
At
and
Lee
then
J's.
At Lee J's little backyard Halloween party.
That was awesome.
Yeah, man, that was a good show. And
I'm going to talk for 4 seconds about
yes, please do. Oh my
my
gosh,
first
guys.
experience of Leah. So
talk
we're
so
at the
much.
show, and Shelton invites us.
Yeah.
Shelton invites us to his friend's party, and we're like right down the street. So we're like, yeah,
We
we're there.
walked there from here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you are so close.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just remember seeing you perform, and I was like, Tones, bro, she's amazing. And like, we were both like, she's of the lineup that performed that evening, I was like, Leah has something very special. It was really cool to see you. And like, so we went up to you, and I think we were just starting to kick off Time Out too.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'm David. Nice to meet you. We just moved here like 2 weeks ago. And like, oh yeah, we should do this, do that, this and that. And then it never happened, right? Because it was just like, there's not the season. But I remember like, we totally saw you. We
Yes.
totally met. We followed each other on Instagram, and that was it
Yes.
for like another year and a half.
I think you did send me maybe
I sent you some
a
like,
couple of invites.
yeah, I think I
to
might
the
have sent you
Time
some
Out.
stuff. Yeah.
And I think I was probably working. I was working a lot, right?
Right.
Serving.
Plus you were
and
making your music.
making the
EDMing.
music. Yeah, I was pretty like hyper fixated on my little box that I had built.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So then
Yeah.
you keep living life. We don't connect, but this is kind of the season where you start getting into Jesus a little more in your adult life, right?
Yeah.
What happens?
And also while growing up in Ohio, I went to church. We were raised very much so in church. So I didn't want to skip past that. But yes, so church was very much so a part of my whole upbringing. And then once we went back to Maysville, we kind of stopped. I think everyone was just kind of tired. Yeah, it was a lot happening with the move and with family dynamics, and eventually my parents would get divorced and things like that. So just a lot of moving parts in the family space of things. And so it didn't push us to church. It kind of, everything just
Other
kind
things
of
to
separated
priority.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I honestly was like, I don't know if I was church hurt, but I was church tired. Like I was churched out, like, and then I kind of felt like the previous huge church that we had went to, it was just such a very judgmental space. And I didn't want to be that kind of person. And so I assumed most churches would be like that. So I was like, I'm good. I don't really need to add that into this situation, right? So that was my view on church for a long time. So I went to college. I didn't worry about church. And
Did you still have a relationship with God during that time? Like, you weren't going to church, but did you feel connected? Were you praying? Were you?
Yes, I prayed, but I think it was it got pretty surface. It got pretty surface, and it happens. I'm not too hard on myself. I'm just very grateful. I'm very grateful because while I was that way, Chapters, right? The song Chapters is the testament or the testimony of the fact that he was still so present and still so, oh my gosh, like literally covering
saving your butt.
and saving my behind, my poor naive behind. Like, it's so crazy. Oh my gosh.
Especially college times when you're just exploring and
and I wasn't even the most wild.
Yeah.
I really wasn't. But there are just moments I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Father, for your holy, mighty hand.
It's
okay.
like, I got you.
He's
For
like,
your
this
great
poor-
plan for my life.
Yes.
Which did not include all those other things. And all those other
Glory.
possibilities.
Oh my gosh. Whew.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I took a long break from church, and so my first experience back in church was reconciled.
Wow.
And then I was leading, and I remember praying like, all right, Lord, I don't want to be a Christian singer. Just want to make that clear. Like that's not what we're doing. But I understand that you gave me this gift, so this is my homage. Like, this is how I'm willing to give it back, right?
On my terms.
This is my term, okay? And so here you go. I love you. Thank you. That was literally like.
I hope you accept this semi-willing sacrifice.
Yes, exactly. That was as much as I was willing to give. And God, he was able to see my heart.
That's right.
He was able to dig down deep enough to know there was more there. But yeah, that was that moment in 2022 and 2020. Yeah, it would have been late 2021 if 2021 at all. But definitely 2022. And then, yes, going into the top of 2023. And then that's when summer of 2023, I met my ex. Started making music, got all wrapped up in that world, at the EDM and the relationship, met you guys, October. Started to really feel like the weight of life. I felt the disconnect from God. And I started to recognize, okay, I haven't been to church. I'll never forget, I was in Vegas and we're staying at this really nice hotel. And I was just laying there awake, feeling like, I think actually maybe it woke me up, or maybe I just couldn't fall asleep because I was just so unsettled. And I felt like spirits. I just felt like there were literally demons around the bed that I was sharing with my ex. I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I need to get some sleep tonight, God.
I was like, Lord, we rebuke whatever that is.
Yeah.
And so I just remember realizing, like, I think I'm in like dangerous territory. I think I've gotten too far from, where I should be, and I need to get back. Because this whole feeling of spirits like after me is crazy. It's crazy. And I think I had some kind of dream. Yeah, but I couldn't tell you what that was. But it was very heavy and very dark, whatever was happening in that room. And so that seemed to happen a lot more too. I was like starting to feel like just spirits around.
Heaviness, darkness.
When I was laying in his bed most of the time. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I think God's talking. Like, I think, God's allowing me to see, like, maybe we shouldn't be here. And that still wasn't enough. And by the time we had our one and done, relationship counseling, and that was my final straw, right? Like, I realized, like, oh, I am really not, like, I'm somewhere I should not be. I gotta go. This has to be it. Like, we can't do this. Because I had already had the first toxic relationship. So I had learned a little about, from that. So I was like, all right, we're not gonna waste another whatever, So that was once I left that relationship, once I said the final, like, hey, it was pretty mutual, but there was still space. If I wanted to keep pushing, I could have, like if I wanted to keep treading that water, like I could have, I think. But I was like, no, I think it's best for both of us that we just let this go. Close this chapter. Just leave it there. So that was that. And that was the end of May of 2024. So June 2nd of 2024 is my year anniversary for going to one. because at the end of that month, I was like, I can't talk to anybody. Like I had felt like no one wanted to hear it, like no one was going to want to hear what I had to say. And I almost felt like I didn't need to talk to anybody else. Anyway, I knew who I needed to go to. And so I was like, all right, Sunday, I'm going to church. I'm going to somebody's church. I don't know where.
Anybody.
But I'm going to church, okay? So I think I maybe messaged my cousin, and she was like, oh, yeah, you should try my church. And so we were supposed to go together. I ended up just going by myself, and I never stopped.
Wow.
That was my first time going to one, and man, he met me there. And that was my prayer. I was like, Lord, I honestly, like, I got nothing for you, but meet me there. Meet me there. I'm desperate. So he did. And he continued to every weekend, like, just reveal his comfort and like his guidance as I was healing, and not just healing from whatever from that relationship, but healing from why I ended up in another relationship that was like that, accepting crumbs and just like, why do I settle? Why am I so in a hurry to just have something, even though it's not good for me, or it's not what God would have for me, So healing, it was a lot of healing. So
The second part of the episode is going to be regarding the Surrender EP, the process behind creating it, how Leah, Tones, and I came together as a creative team. So if you want to watch that one, that's the next video. You'll find the link in the description.